listening to the Sistas Talk podcast. I'm your host, Dannie M, and today we have special guest, Miss Author Shermaine. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. Now I'm loving this background. Oh my God. I wish
You
I
see my
could
beautiful
feel it.
library?
Yes, look. You see
Every book you can imagine is on this shelf and this shelf.
that's a lot of books, I'm telling you. But you know what? This is the perfect year for it because a lot of us aren't going anywhere. We're stuck in the house.
Well, we're
Whether
going places in our imagination, right?
that's right. You can literally travel the world inside of a book. That's a very good point.
That's true.
Speaking of books, you have written this beautiful book called I Move a Lot, and That's Okay. But before I get to that book, I want you to tell the audience a little bit more about you. Can we have like a mini story or bio of who you are?
Yes. So I actually grew up in the military. I lived all over the world, probably went to maybe 10 or 13 different schools across the world. And my family's from the West Indies. But what I'll also tell you about me is I'm a project manager as well and a certified trainer. And I love all things about improving an organization and team dynamics. And so I thought during COVID, that time where you would be driving back and forth to the office, why not just explore your creativity? And I said, okay, I'm going to start writing some books. So some guided journals out there. There are some adult coloring books out there. My husband and I co-authored a coloring book together, and now this children's book. So just letting some creative outlets fly, because like you said, you can't go anywhere other than in your mind. So we just kind of let that imagination flow and said, let's put some pen to paper and some illustrations behind it.
Wow, that's wonderful. Listen, guys, she's dropping some true gems. I mean, she's putting her creativity to work and letting it pay for itself. Like, that's super smart. That's really, really smart use of your time. So instead of us doing meaningless activities, let's get into something that's a little more constructive. So I really like that advice. Thank you for sharing that with us. So let's get back to your book. So this is not your first time writing a book, right? You just mentioned that you and your husband have co-authored a book as well. Is that correct?
Right. We did a couples activity book. So it has some illustrations to color, and there's some fun quarantine dates in there as well.
Now that's cute.
You know, trying some different stuff. And we tried these dates out ourselves and said, you know what? We can do this. Like, you can take a video tour of the Louvre in Paris. You know, that's the museum Jay-Z and Beyonce are in that wonderful picture.
Okay.
You can tour that as a date
for
free. So that's a fun COVID friendly date. You can do that. And so those are some of the things that we put in that book.
Where can they find this?
On Amazon. If they will search my name, Shermaine Perry, or they search Shermaine Perry Knights on Amazon, all titles will pop up.
Oh, nice. So it's all gonna be there. Love it. So of course, I want to know, because I think this is an adorable title. I move a lot, and that's okay. That just pulls at my heartstrings, and I see, if you guys can see this book cover, which I'll make sure to show in the video, is showing a guy that's in the military. So I'm assuming he's some type of like recruiter or lieutenant. Could you explain like the book cover itself?
Yes. So the book cover, you see a service member, that's the dad, and the mom is this really cute girl with dreads. On the side of him, she's holding on to him, and the little girl is sitting there staring at a globe, but she's imagining the beach. And so this is what typically happens for a military family. This is my story of when we moved from Georgia to Italy. You're leaving everything and everyone you know behind to move to the south of Italy as a young child, learn a new language, fit in, learn a new culture, and try to find moments where you can adjust and you feel normal, because everything is about change. Change becomes so constant in the military lifestyle. And I said, you know what, let's talk about, during this time frame, let's talk about change. Let's talk about kids adjusting, because kids bounce back, but a lot happens in the middle. And so, I just kind of found myself as I was writing down my own stories from childhood that I moved a lot. And that's okay. So it just kind of became a theme for me. When someone asks you where you're from, you're like, well, I was born in California, but then we moved to Texas, and then we moved to England, and then we moved to Oklahoma, and then we moved to Turkey. And they're like, where are you from? Like, well, anywhere my family is home to me. And so it's a theme. You move a lot, but.
Wow. So give me the age again when you guys first moved from Georgia to Italy.
Let's see my age. I was Yeah, I have to go back in my mind to different
No worries,
locations.
but you were a teenager for
I
sure, right?
was 11 when we went to
11.
Italy.
So you were right at the beginning of teenage, preteen.
Yes, 11. And we lived there for 3 years.
Wow. So how, I guess my question to you would be, wow, that's life changing. That's number one.
It is.
But how dramatic of a life change was it for you? Was it really hard for you to adjust, or was it pretty simple? Like, I mean, was it just a gradual adjustment? How was that for you?
So for me, because I was born into the military, born and raised, all four of us, and born in different corners of the world, in a military family, change becomes very, very familiar. It's the only thing you can look forward to is moving constantly, making new friends, hoping to visit them somewhere along the way in the next station in the world. I
Yeah.
mean, you still wrote letters to people at that time. People listening, we still wrote letters at that time.
Like pen pal letters,
Like
right?
pen pal letters, right? You put it in the
Yeah.
mail, you waited 3 weeks to hear from someone, and then 3 more weeks for them to respond. And
Yeah.
so it just, it was a huge adjustment, but you learn. And so in the book, what you'll find is there are some reoccurring activities. Like we always jumped on the bubble wrap.
Yeah.
When you start to unpack your things, because there's a lot of bubble wrap, a lot of boxes, you find that you got to draw on the boxes, draw your name and fun characters on there. And it becomes an activity because we move so much. Parents have to find a way to make it good and say, okay, Tuesdays we like to have pizza. So when we lived in Italy, we'd find pizzerias. We get to
Nice.
practice our
Oh,
Italian.
that's the
So in the
real
book as
pizza,
well,
guys. They're in
it's real
Italy.
pizza, real
Yeah.
pizza.
Yeah.
So the first time I saw someone make pizza, I mean, they're throwing it up in the air, and
Wow.
amazing experience. It tastes nothing like the pizza here.
Oh, I can imagine.
And you're learning a new
Hey
language, trying
guys,
to
our
say, this
pizza
is what I
sucks
do.
compared to the
It's
real
different.
thing.
But different is good, right? So that's another theme of the book. You'll find that the character's name is Grace, but of course it's based off of my story. You'll find she has new experiences. Many things become challenging where she's like, I'm not okay with that. Like they have volcanoes here.
Yeah.
I'm not okay with that. Or the air smells funny because there's sulfur in the air. And then there's some great opportunities like, well, the pizza's different, but I like that.
Yeah.
So she has some great moments and some challenging moments. And with any child like moving, like you're saying, what was the adjustment like? You have this strange balance of what works and what you don't like, and then you get used to it over time. You tell yourself, this is temporary, but make the most of it while you live here. And then when you move to a new station, you start to miss that old place. The place you didn't like at first becomes home.
So could you say that's pretty interesting, because I noticed that as you know, as I got older and I started doing routines like body cleanses and things like that, they say after 21 days, the body just kind of sets itself to that pace that or the rhythm that you've gotten it to be on. So it kind of sounds like the same way with traveling and moving. Once you get kind of settled, around your environment, you become used to it. Whether you liked it or not in the beginning, you adapt. Your body and your mind and everything just like naturally adapts. So that's very interesting to hear you say that. As a child, I would imagine, especially a teenager, we're going through all these hormonal changes as females and things like that. Did that ever interfere with like your ability to adapt and maintain like high spirits whenever it was time to get up and move again with your family?
No, you just recognize it as a new adventure. And so even before we moved there, we spent most of our life in Europe and the Middle East. And so you just grow when you go.
Yeah.
You pick up friends, and the good thing about it is because you go so much, what becomes your growth is saying, okay, this is my circle for right now. Hold on to them, grow with these people, spend as much time as possible because you don't know when you'll see them again, right? So you become really flexible. Every day is something different, and you just say, you know what, I don't know what's going to happen today, but I can roll with that. And so I feel like that is a theme we need to bring back and teach children, because I mean, who would have known for 2020 what was going to happen? But this
Yeah, for
idea of
sure.
resilience and just rolling with the punches, we don't have to do that anymore because everything is constant. But this year has changed that.
It rocked everything, didn't it? I mean, it really, truly did. Could you tell me one of your most inspiring moments when you said, even before you came up with the title, like, what did you say to yourself as you're in the process of doing an outline or thinking of, oh, I want to write a book? What inspired you to do this book with this title,
My own experience is just kind of sitting and thinking, you're imagining you're going somewhere that day because it's COVID. And I said, wait a minute, let's think, I want to write. But what's low-hanging fruit? Low-hanging fruit is to talk about your own experiences. Find a niche, right? Say, okay, my experience as a military child, that's relevant, because if you think about it, when you talk about military, you reference any service member, even uniform officers, you only think of that person. You may have a quick notion of their spouse, but no one is thinking of the child's experience.
Right, right.
And so it's like, okay, wait a minute, that's the niche. Nobody's talking about this child's experience. And I said, wait a minute, it's not just a military child's experience. There are many kids that are relocating right now. Yeah. There are many kids that change is constant. They don't know what's happening. They can't even go to school right now, right? Or play with their friends. So this is a good book to help build resilience, talk about coping skills, to find ways for parents to say, you know what, I like that activity. Maybe I don't want to blow bubbles with my kids every day, but every Saturday we paint, or we go outside and we water the flowers together, finding consistent moments that they can hold on to and say, that's okay. I can't control this, but this one activity each week I can control. And so that's the idea behind it. I said, you know what, there's a whole group of kids that need that balance, won't have it for a while, but they have to find out, what can I do in the meantime to stabilize my own feelings?
Yeah, no, that's amazing. And kudos to you, because, you know, there's so many people out here writing books, but a lot of people aren't really focusing on that aspect of life. And it's very necessary. And you're speaking up for a lot of children who can't speak up for themselves, or they maybe feel like they're the only ones that are going through what they're going through. So you're showing them, no, they're not alone. That's fantastic. So let me ask you, because you mentioned earlier that you've traveled a lot of different places, but I'm pretty sure you haven't gone to every beautiful city or every beautiful country. So if there was one country that you could travel to today, eliminate the idea of COVID right now, where would it be and why?
Ooh, where would it be?
Take your time.
Let's see, where would it be? Oh, there's so many places on my list, right? So I keep a book list of things and books that I want, and I have a travel list. Let's see, what's on my list? I'd love to see Australia. I think that would be amazing. I would love to see Dubai. Yes. I would love to see Africa.
Yeah.
And I know it's a continent, not a country, but I want to see multiple places within there. I want to go north, I want to go south, east, west. I just want to see the beautiful motherland as a whole. And it's so I just dream of these things. I want to see the Victoria Falls.
Right. Right. Oh, beautiful. I couldn't disagree more. Like, I want to see all those places too. You know, I look at it on YouTube, but I'm not gone yet. So fantastic. Also too, I want to ask you, have you done any book tours yet with your current book, or it's set to release on the 11th? So you haven't done anything just yet, but are you planning on doing any future book tours or virtual book tours or anything in the pipeline for you this year and next year?
Yes. So what I'll have is a virtual book launch on November 11th, which is Veterans Day, because we typically honor the veteran. I said, let's honor the military children on that day, right? So we'll have a virtual book launch on Facebook at AmazinglyShermaine. So we'll have that then, and then I will continue to do some virtual pieces until it's truly safe. I won't have a physical virtual book, a book tour per se, but I want to. And so I'm thinking perhaps maybe in March or April. I think that's month of the military child is April. March is Women's History Month. So I would, do something impactful in March. And in February, of course, Black History Month. So so for other authors, that's the idea, not just to know your audience or your reader. Right. You need to know what's going to be most impactful in terms of marketing. So for right now, it's reaching out to different retailers, different affinity groups. Like you said, just really building that niche.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. And reaching out to those networks, because there's definitely room and space for this that has been, to my understanding, almost untouched, because I don't hear too many authors, writing books about what you're writing about, which brings me to the next question. So are you planning on making this more of a series book, or did you just do this book and you're just going to kind of see where it takes you?
A series. So right now the main character is a girl. And I want to keep the themes around biracial families. In the military community, you see a lot of people, two different backgrounds that are together. And I think it's beautiful. We need to celebrate more diversity, right? So representation matters. And so each of the books, they're a series. And the main character won't always be Grace. So the series will have a boy character, girl character, parents of different backgrounds. Yes. You will see the woman service member and the male service member. You'll see each of their branches represented. And then we'll also have some books that are yet to release for those kids that are maybe in foster care, because they're moving around quite a bit, right? So just the idea of supporting kids, because keep in mind, they grow up, right?
Yep.
Right, wrong, and different, they will grow up, and all the things that rest on your heart and in your head that you never share, someone will have to deal with it in a relationship at some point, right? And so you want to make sure that they're whole, or as Yanla says, you go in peace, not in pieces, which I love that idea of helping them find peace and just building that mental toughness, especially in 2020. So you'll see a lot of fun books come from this, and I'm just really excited.
Nice. So, I read a little bit about your background, and I know I asked you to expand a little bit about yourself, but you went to Spelman College.
I did.
So, I mean, don't you think you should expand on that? Give people a shout out?
Oh, yes. So shout out to my HBCU. Spelman, I mean, we do so much as is, right?
Yeah.
But I got to say, a lot of the mental toughness that I've built outside of growing up around the world in different cultures has to be in this environment, because I have to give Spelman that credit. You stand up in your freshman orientation and you're learning how to speak in front of others. Public speaking is a must. You're learning that darts are going to be thrown at you in the public sector and in the professional world, and you need to know how to have decorum. One of my favorite professors would say, have some decorum, ladies, and oh my gosh. But you learn in the real world, people have to want to work with you. Your professionalism is everything. And what someone will say about you when you're not in the room is so important. So, and you know that, right? These are
absolutely
things that we learn by hook and a crook. If nobody's formally teaching you that level of professional skills in the college environment, to teach you, to prepare you for the conversations that you're not a part of, that your name was a part of in the professional world. So there's so much happening. I have to give Spelman credit for preparing me for that, because I've worked in the political arena. I've worked in campaigns. I've worked with data analysis and just some traditional areas where you don't see a lot of women, and you don't see a lot of women that look like you and I.
Yes.
The conversations that you're not a part of are real.
Yeah, definitely. So I'm so glad you expanded more on that, because someone out there needed to hear that. And I know that you mentioned that you're in project management, where you're also an award-winning facilitator, right? Yeah. So you've done quite a bit. You also offer coaching sessions as well?
Yes, so
career team building sessions
and team building sessions, because I believe it's important for us to have those professional skills, and that's the leadership skills. Helping you understand how to speak to people properly, right? How to not say exactly what you always want to say.
Come on,
I'm guilty. Reframe it in a way that somebody can receive it, but most importantly, being able to give and receive feedback. The key part being receiving it. Most people want to give it; they don't want to receive it. So I'll have coaching sessions around that, and to help people find their passion, because once you find your passion, you're not working, it's just another day at the office, and you love what you do. So this is how I'm able to do so much, because I truly love writing. I truly love the team dynamics, being able to help an organization say, no, these are where the errors are, we can reduce that. This is where the waste is, we can reduce it. Let's increase the productivity. So looking at that and saying, here's your challenges, but these are your opportunities. And so that's what career counseling is about.
I love it. Wow. So look, guys, she's not just an author. So you better go email her if you need some help. Because I love what you just said. Language is a real thing. Oftentimes we say exactly what's inside of our minds, and that's not going to always be received well. So I think it's important that we're consciously speaking.
And I do it too.
And we all do it. I do it every day, and I have to remind myself. I'm like, language, Danielle. Language is key to any conversation or anything that you're trying to achieve with another person, because they don't know how you feel, or even like when we text, right? Because text doesn't have any emotion behind it. We have to be careful about how we text our language, because texting is like the thing now, especially for Gen Zs. They love to text. They don't even talk to people anymore. So, yeah. I like what you said about that. So I want to know, where can people find your book? Tell them all of the social media platforms they can follow you on, and any other upcoming events that are happening either this year, 2021, that you're projecting. Not just with your book, with anything that you're doing in life right now.
Okay, so they can follow me on Facebook and Instagram at AmazinglyShermaine. That's my author pages. And I like to share snippets of the book and just fun quotes and just kind of talk impromptu, just my own little way to connect with individuals. You can also connect with me on LinkedIn by looking for my name, Shermaine Perry Knights. And that's where I'm talking more about the workforce development, team dynamics, the leadership skills as well. Our launch is on the 11th at Facebook Live. And you can find all of my titles on Amazon. Yes, I sell them on my website as well, which is innovationconsultants.co. But I want to direct people to Amazon because there's a level of trust with Amazon. So I'll say, go there, order your book there, share some amazing reviews, and then contact me if you say, you know what, I want a little bit more in this book. You may help spark the next big idea I have, and I want you to tell me.
Yeah, for sure. I also have one question that just popped in my head. I'm like, so out of all the countries that you stayed, when you came back to the US, did you say to yourself, I want to move back to Italy, or I want to move back to Indonesia, or wherever it was in the world that you stayed? Did you kind of say, do you look at America as secondary, when you came
it's
back?
a trick question.
Yeah.
What I will say is because I have lived and traveled so much, I consider a lot of those places home because that's where you're making the memories, and I think that's what's most important for kids, right? Making the memories along the way.
Mm-hmm.
When I go back to Europe, I feel like that's home because
Yeah.
I spent so much time there. So Germany in a heartbeat. I'm
Can you
going
speak
back, right?
German? Can you
Sprechen Sie
speak?
Deutsch? I can tell you how
Ah.
to say what's up. You say wie heißt du?
Uh-huh.
Means
Uh-huh.
what's up.
So you picked up language along the way as well.
It's part of your job to blend in, learn the culture, and
Yeah.
adjust. Like that's part of your job as the kid, right?
So how I'm
And so,
envisioning you at the time was kind of like Karate Kid, like the newest
that would have
version
been
with
cool.
Jaden Smith.
I like that. That's a good
That's a good comparison,
perspective. I
right?
like it. And so
Yeah.
you see many people that look like us in other
Mhm.
countries as well. So what I miss the most, and I won't say the US is second to anywhere else, but it's very different. The
Mhm.
level of comfort that you have walking the street,
Mhm.
it's different there. In most of those places that I've lived, I mean, in Turkey, it's different. In Germany, in Italy, in England, it's
But
different.
in what way? Expand. I'm so curious.
It's a level of security that you have
Mhm.
that you wouldn't worry. You're not worried if someone's going to harm you by walking down
Mhm.
the street. The murder rates are incredibly low.
Wow.
People do not own weapons outside of uniformed officers. They
Mhm.
they don't have weapons, so the likelihood of shootings is very low. You may hear of a stabbing every blue moon, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it seemed like it's so bad because it was one the whole year. But most people, I'll give you an example. I left the door last time I was there visiting. I left the door where I was staying open. I thought I closed it. I didn't close it. I left the
Yeah.
place. And I came back and that neighbor was sitting in front of my door. And she was telling me, oh, you left the door open. I just thought I would sit and kind of watch the house.
Oh,
Stay at home
wow.
mom. And I said, wow. I said, you didn't just want to close it? She was like, I didn't want to touch the door. I just wanted to make sure no one went in. So
Oh.
I know that sounds crazy, but that old
No, it
school
doesn't.
idea of community here
Mhm.
still exists in other places. Yes, there
Yeah.
are bad and good. There's bad and good in every country. But that idea of community is something you see in most countries that is not here. Here, it's
Mhm.
more of what can I do? How can I advance? There's nothing wrong with that. It's just a very different mindset than how I was raised, or probably how you were raised. The idea of you look out for your neighbors, you check on this individual, you just really strive to work as a group and help the family. That's what I see and I miss. That idea of if you didn't have $5 and you were at the register, someone would just pay for it. Or if
Yeah.
they see you want ice cream, this person would just say, oh, come on over here. They don't know
Yeah.
you. You
Yeah.
want one? Okay. I mean, it sounds crazy, but
No,
just this
no. I'm
level of
so happy I
community.
asked that question because wow, you gave me the vision and it feels so
Good.
refreshing. Yeah, yeah, to hear that still exists because that is missing from our
And I
culture.
believe it exists here,
Yeah.
but you're not seeing it as much, right?
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
when you see officers over there, yes, you see military patrolling the streets in those countries,
Mhm.
but they're just there. They're not harming anyone. And if they
Yeah.
have to engage someone, it's a different story, right?
Right.
You walk in a store, you get what you need, no one's following you.
Mhm. Mhm.
Buy what you
Wow.
want, go as you come, walk through the markets for everything. And Christmas is an experience in other countries. because
Wow.
everyone reverences Christmas the way some of us do.
Yeah.
And it's an experience. The lights are up, the people are walking, and after a certain hour, all the shops are closed because it's family time.
Yeah. Wow. What a delight. You just made me so happy.
Don't worry, we're going to travel together next time.
I mean, I've already traveled in your memories. Like, it's just amazing. I'm there.
Oh,
I just hope that we can. Seriously, I'm going to hold you to that because I know who you are now. You're all over Amazon, so I know where to find you.
You'll find me. We will do this together. We will go,
Yeah.
and we will, like in the book, we'll go to Naples, right?
I have
and
a secret.
Tell me.
I have not gotten on a plane to go to Europe or Africa because I am terrified. I'm going to tell the world. Flying
You're just telling me.
the ocean.
They're watching. I'm the only one hearing it right now.
I've gone to places like Mexico, Costa Rica, but I am terrified to fly like more than 2 or 3 hours over the ocean. I just hate the idea. I really, really do. So like I'll fly south, I'll fly interstate, but I need you to go with me so that I can take that trip to Paris. Or
let me give you the secret.
Okay.
What we did each time is stayed up the entire day before. Right? You know, you pack in advance. Don't just pack the day of. You pack far in advance. You stay up the full 24 hours before your flight.
Yeah.
Just enough time to check in, get on the plane, get comfortable, have a beverage if you like, or snacks, whatever. You will be exhausted by the time the plane takes off. You will sleep the majority of the flight. Tell the person next to you, just wake me up when they bring the snacks by.
Yeah, I hope so.
This is what I've done for almost every flight of my life because I'm going to sleep on the plane. And now I've kind of become conditioned when I'm on the plane. I'm like that. So it's my own thing because it's hard to fly over water. You know, I know a lot of people like the control of driving. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just
that's what it is. I think that's what it is.
Sleep. Mm-hmm. You'll just wake up in the next country. So if you take your flight at night, you'll wake up in the new country overseas.
Right. That's really good advice. Thank you, Shermaine. I'm going to use that advice. No, I'm going to hold you to it. So before we go, this was such an amazing interview. Like we have to do part 2. We're going to have to like do another interview with you after you've released the book. You know, you've got some traction going and God knows what else you're going to do with this, right? Because it's just, I see it growing into something huge, especially when you get into these markets, other military branches across the U.S., and even in other countries as well. They would appreciate a book like this. So definitely want to thank you so much for being a guest on our show today. I want you to tell the audience one more time, where can they find your book, and tell them where they can reach out to you.
Okay, so the book is called I Move a Lot and That's Okay, and it's available on Amazon in Kindle, paperback, and hardback. You can get it in the 3 formats if you like. I'm going to encourage everybody to get 2. Get one for yourself and one to share with somebody else because you're not going to want to give your copy away, right? I have some adults that are buying this thing. I remember as a kid looking through these great moments.
I'm going to buy a copy too. I'm an adult.
I'm not giving my copy away. It's literally in my hands. And they can also follow me on Facebook and on Instagram at AmazinglyShermaine. And if they want to connect in terms of like the workforce development coaching sessions, they can connect with me on LinkedIn. I typically respond within a day or 2, but I'm excited to talk with anyone. Even if they say, I just want a preview of it. I posted on my Instagram today a sneak peek showing a page so they can see that. And I used real photos from my own memories, like pictures I had. It's like, oh, here's the foothills of Naples. You can see the volcanoes in the background. I took that picture and I told the illustrator, put this in here.
Yeah.
So you can see some real moments and not just create.
Yeah, made up. Yeah, exactly. Oh man, that's so awesome. So guys, make sure that you get a couple of copies for you and your children, some of your friends and their children's cousins, nephews, uncles, nieces, nephews. I mean, you just never know who can take something away from this, even if they don't have children. I just love reading. So definitely we want to thank Miss Shermaine for taking out time today to share some of her fantastic memories with us. I thoroughly enjoyed it. You took me on a journey. And anybody that can take somebody on a journey, I don't doubt that they're an outstanding writer. So make sure you guys go check her out. Her book is available on Amazon. And I'll make sure to put that information in the comments below. Make sure you reach out to her if you need any type of coaching session. So I just think what you're doing is amazing. So as always, audience, I just want to tell you guys to have a blessed week. And we'll see you guys next Sunday. We're going to have Atlanta, Dr. Casual Pitts. I don't know where my brain is going, guys. Anyway, Dr. Casual
You're on a journey.
I am. I'm trying to come back from the volcanoes. And he's going to talk to you a little bit more about his partnership with Amazon. So you guys stay tuned. And thank you guys, as always, for tuning into the Sistas Talk podcast. Have a blessed week.
Thank you.